today's look, I'm going to be making myself look like a statue. Now, of course, you could paint this on, but today I'm going to cheat a little bit and just pop clay on my face just to make that whole process a little bit easier. First thing I'm going to do is brush my hair back, and then in between the clay and my skin and my hair, I want to have a really thick cream, especially for my hair. Clay is not really meant to go on your hair. It could be a little too rough on it, so I'm going to be putting on a very thick cream first, all over my skin as well, then tying my hair back. Next we're going to move on to the easy part, the face mask. What I'm going to do is take 2 face masks, mix them with a little bit of water to water it down. We don't need it to be too thick. It just needs to be thick enough to cover up your skin and hair. If it's too thick, it's going to take forever to dry. And as it is, it already took quite a while for this one to dry. So do thin it out and don't apply it too thickly. But the main thing I need to stress is that when you're doing this, don't cover up one of your eyes. We want to leave a crack, a little bit like this character. Even though she does end people's lives, she still sees what she's doing, and she is aware of the fact that because she's going to cut the thread of life, people's lives are going to be over, and that's going to affect people. So she's not unfeeling, but she just can't after so many years of cutting the thread. So we want to leave a little crack in the facade. After that, we're going to move on to the eyes. I'm going to fill in the brow, and I'm only going to be doing this on the side that's going to have that crack showing. Then I'm going to be using a dark brown just underneath the brow in the inner corner, and then underneath the lower lashes, blending that in. With a tiny bit of that dark brown on the brush, I'm going to go on the outer corner of the eye, looking down, and then blend that up into the crease and bring that all the way into the inner corner, and make sure that those lines are blended out. It should be very, very subtle and not very obvious at all. Then I'm going to be taking a small eyeliner brush, some black eyeshadow, and starting at the inner corner, I'm going to line as close to the lashes as possible. Now after this, I'm going to be applying a BB cream. The reason I applied this later and not earlier when I was doing the mask is because I want there to be a little bit of a gap in between the BB cream and the clay. It's going to make the edges look even more cracked, I guess, once we start painting it later on. So I'm going to be applying this afterwards. And once I've blended the BB cream in, I'm going to be taking a highlighter in the inner corner of the eye, place a little bit on the centre of the lid, and then apply some false lashes on both eyes. Next I'm going to be using my Flash palette dupes, and I'm going to be using some white and some greys with also a little bit of green and blue. I'm going to have to mix the white, a tiny bit of green, and then a little bit of blue to get a similar colour to the face mask, and then I'm going to be filling in that eye, which has got to be filled in so it looks like it blends in with the rest of the mask. After that, I'm going to be filling in the lips as well. And once I've filled in that eye and the lips, we're going to move on to making this whole look a little bit more weathered, like a statue that you see in public places. The areas which are more exposed to the wind and rain, those tend to be a lighter colour, but then the areas which aren't, those tend to be slightly darker. So we're going to be mimicking this. On the upper lip, you need to make it a darker grey. Also in the inner corner of the eye on the upper lid, into the crease as well. A little bit underneath the lower lip on the chin, and then you're going to bring that down along the jawline, in between the little cracks on your ears as well, and then underneath the jawbone and the cheekbones. Light from long dead stars, still journeys so far, celestial hearts, still love when For the next part of this look, we need to start outlining those cracks in the clay. I'm going to be using that same dark grey that I've used on the rest of my face. You're going to outline the spaces in between the skin and the clay, and then we're going to bring those lines a little bit further up so that it looks like it's cracked into the skin. You're going to need a small detail brush for this. You can use a makeup brush, or you can use an art brush as well, whichever you prefer. Final part of the look, whatever's left of that light blue that I used to fill in the lips and the eye, I'm going to bring that onto the highlights of the face, so the very tips of the ear, a little bit of the forehead, down the bridge of the nose. I'm also going to put that same clay that I used earlier on the very ends of the false lashes that I applied. I'm going to draw in the missing brow, which has been covered up by the clay, and then that's it. You're done. Till it's just me and the dark. Your heart here in this place, then you